Every Thursday night for 2 years, my wife went to girls' night. 4 women, best friends since college. They'd meet at a restaurant, drink wine, complain about their husbands, and come home around midnight. That was the story anyway. My name is James. I'm an architect. I design buildings for a living, structures that need to be solid, balanced, built on foundations that don't shift. I thought my marriage was the same. I was wrong. It started with a gym bag. My wife, Nicole, left it in my car by accident. I found it when I was looking for my laptop bag. Inside was the usual: workout clothes, water bottle, headphones, and a phone. Not her phone, a second phone, a burner. I sat in my car for 10 minutes staring at it. Part of me wanted to put it back, pretend I never saw it. Keep the comfortable lie intact. But I'm not built that way. I unlocked it. No password. Careless, the messages were explicit. Photos, times, locations, all with someone named T. My chest tightened, but I kept scrolling. I needed to understand the scope. Every Thursday, for 18 months, the pattern was clear. Girls' night wasn't dinner with friends. It was a cover. But here's what caught my attention. In one message thread, Nicole mentioned the other girls. She wrote, "Don't worry, they're all busy with their own trainers. No one will notice we're gone longer." Their own trainers, all 4 of them. I screenshot everything. I put the phone back in the bag exactly as I found it, and I did something I'd never done before. I called Nicole's best friend's husband, a man named David I'd barely spoken to in 10 years. "David, it's James, Nicole's husband. We need to talk." We met the next day. 4 men in a coffee shop looking like we'd all received the same diagnosis. David, married to Rachel, an accountant. Marcus, married to Stephanie, a software developer. Luis, married to Jennifer, a contractor. And me, James, the architect. None of us had ever socialized without our wives. We were acquaintances at best, the men who stood awkwardly at birthday parties while our wives laughed together across the room. Now we were something else. David had found receipts, hotel charges every Thursday. His wife Rachel claimed they were spa days. Marcus had noticed his wife Stephanie's new obsession with fitness. She'd lost 20 pounds, bought new lingerie, started caring about her appearance in ways she hadn't in years. He'd thought she was doing it for him. Luis had the clearest evidence. His wife Jennifer had accidentally sent him a text meant for someone else. "Last night was incredible. Same time Thursday?" We sat in silence, processing the scale of it. The same night, the same pattern, the same gym. "Elite Fitness," Marcus said. "They all go there." I nodded. Nicole's messages mentioned trainers, multiple trainers. David pulled out his phone, did a quick search. Elite Fitness has 8 personal trainers. 4 of them are men in their 20s. The math added up perfectly. 4 wives, 4 trainers every Thursday for nearly 2 years. Luis spoke first. "What do we do?" I'd been thinking about that since the coffee shop opened. "We could confront them separately," I said. "Make scenes, get emotional, probably end up looking like the bad guys while they play victim." "Or," David asked, "or we do this together, coordinated, documented." "Undeniable." Marcus leaned forward. "I'm listening." Over the next 3 weeks, we became something unexpected. A team. We called ourselves Nothing. We didn't need a name. We just needed a plan. Each of us had skills that contributed to the operation. David, the accountant, traced the money. He discovered that all 4 trainers at Elite Fitness were part of an informal service beyond personal training. The gym owner knew. The trainers coordinated schedules. It was practically a business. Marcus, the software developer, handled surveillance. He set up tracking apps on shared devices, legally accessible under family plans. He mapped the movements. Every Thursday, our wives went to the gym at 5 p.m., left at 6:30, and didn't return home until midnight. The 6-hour gap was spent at various hotels and apartments. Luis, the contractor, handled logistics. He had connections everywhere: restaurant owners, hotel staff, people who owed him favors. He confirmed dates, times, and locations. He even got us footage from a hotel lobby showing all 4 women entering together on the same night. And me? I planned the structure, the architecture of the confrontation. I designed it like I design buildings. Every element intentional, Every load-bearing wall in place, no room for collapse. First, we needed legal protection. Each of us consulted divorce attorneys. In our state, documented adultery affected settlement outcomes. We needed evidence that would hold up in court, not for revenge, but for fairness. Second, we needed to protect our assets. This part was personal for me. Nicole didn't know the full picture of our finances. She knew I was a successful architect. She enjoyed the house, the cars, the vacations. But she didn't know about the partnership stake I'd acquired 3 years ago when our firm was restructured. She didn't know that my annual income had increased to $280,000 plus profit sharing. She didn't know about the rental properties I'd purchased in my name before the marriage. She didn't know that my net worth, carefully accumulated over 15 years, was approximately $1.9 million. She never asked. She was too busy with girls' night. Each of the other 3 men had similar stories. David had inherited money from his father. Marcus had stock options worth 6 figures. Luis owned the construction company outright. His wife thought he was just an employee. We weren't rich, but we weren't helpless either. Third, we needed the right moment. The girls' night group had a tradition. Every few months they'd go to a nicer restaurant instead of their usual spot. More upscale. More wine. They'd post photos on Instagram with captions like, "These are my people and grateful for my girls." The next fancy dinner was scheduled in 3 weeks. Marco's Italian restaurant, a private room in the back, reserved under Rachel's name. We made our own reservation. The main dining room, a table for 4 with a clear view of the private room entrance. The plan was simple. We'd arrive first, we'd wait. When they walked in, we'd walk over. Together. No shouting, no accusations. Just 4 men standing in front of 4 women holding folders of evidence, with the restaurant staff as witnesses. The anticipation was strange. I expected to feel anxious. Instead, I felt calm. Maybe because the decision was already made. Maybe because I wasn't alone. For the first time in months, I slept well. On the night of the dinner, we met at a bar across the street. David, Marcus, Luis, and me. 4 men who barely knew each other a month ago, now bound by something none of us had asked for. "Ready?" Luis asked. We nodded. We walked into Marco's at 8:15 p.m. They were already there. I could see them through the glass partition, 4 women laughing, raising glasses, completely unaware. Nicole was telling a story. The others were leaning in, laughing. They looked happy. We took our seats in the main dining room, ordered drinks, waited. At 8:45, I stood up. The others followed. We walked to the private room. I opened the door. The laughter stopped. 4 faces turned toward us. Confusion first, then recognition, then something else. The slow dawning of understanding. Rachel spoke first. "David, what are you—" "We know," I said. My voice was calm, steady. I'd rehearsed this. "All 4 of us. We've known for 3 weeks." Luis stepped forward and placed a folder on the table, then Marcus, then David, then me. 4 folders, 4 sets of evidence, photos, messages, hotel receipts, GPS logs. Stephanie started crying. Jennifer looked at Luis with something like hatred. Rachel began making excuses. Nicole just stared at me, silent. "We're not here to make a scene," I continued. "We're here to inform you that divorce proceedings will begin next week. Separately but simultaneously. Our attorneys have copies of everything in those folders." David added, "You should also know that a formal complaint has been filed with the State Licensing Board against Elite Fitness. The trainer's conduct, targeting married clients for affairs, constitutes an ethical violation. The gym will likely face consequences." The table was silent. A waiter appeared at the door, saw the tension, and quietly retreated. Jennifer finally spoke. "You can't just— You don't understand what it's like. Being married to men who—" "I understand perfectly," Luis said. "You were bored. We weren't exciting enough. So you found excitement somewhere else." "That's not—" "It doesn't matter," Marcus interrupted. "We're not here to argue. We're here to end this cleanly." I looked at Nicole. She still hadn't spoken. 18 months, I said. Every Thursday. You looked me in the eyes every Friday morning and told me about dinner with your friends. She opened her mouth, closed it. "I don't need an explanation," I said. "The documents explain everything." We turned and walked out. Behind us I heard voices rising, accusations, blame, tears. Someone knocked over a glass. Someone else was shouting. We didn't look back. Outside, the night air was cool. We stood on the sidewalk for a moment, the four of us. Luis laughed, not happily, just the release of tension. "Well," David said, "that happened." Marcus shook his head. "I can't believe we actually did it." I looked at the three of them, these strangers who had become something else. "Same time next week?" I asked. "There's a good bar downtown. No folders required." They smiled. The divorces took 6 months. With documented adultery and clear evidence of the affairs, the settlements were straightforward. No alimony, clean splits. The women got what was fair, nothing more. Elite Fitness lost its license 3 months after our complaint. 2 of the trainers faced civil suits from other clients who came forward. The gym owner closed the business and left town. I don't take pleasure in that. It was simply a consequence. Nicole sent messages for a while. Apologies, explanations, requests to talk. Eventually they stopped. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. What surprised me was the friendship. David, Marcus, Luis and I started meeting regularly. Thursday nights, ironically. Poker, beers, sometimes just conversation. 4 men who met because of the worst circumstances, now connected by something better. Marcus got remarried last year. A woman he met through work. They seem happy. Luis started dating. He says he's taking it slow. David adopted a dog. Named him Thursday. I'm not sure if that's dark humor or healing. Maybe both. As for me, I bought a new condo downtown. Modern design, lots of light close to my office. I cook dinner most nights. I read. I've started running in the mornings. Some evenings I sit on my balcony and watch the city. I think about the foundations we build our lives on. How we trust that they're solid. How sometimes they're not. But the thing about being an architect, I know that you can always rebuild. Not the same structure. Something different. Something that accounts for what you've learned. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not bitter. I'm just building something new.